One, two, three, One, two, three. The Bear Trap Podcast. Here we like to talk about music, news, and entertainment. But most importantly, we like to talk about life. So get yourself ready, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get yourself ready, let's talk about it. Let's talk about
What's up?
it.
What's up?
Get
What's
yourself
up? How
ready,
you guys
let's talk
doing?
about
It's your guy
it.
Bear, and you have stepped
Let's
into the
talk
Bear Trap Podcast once again. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, blessed. I'd like to thank you guys for pulling up on me and pulling up and tapping in and seeing what I'm talking about. Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you like and subscribe. Tap that bell down there wherever it's at. And stay in tune. You might miss something. Shooting from the hip. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Man, this next topic that we're getting into on this episode, this glorious episode, is a good topic. Um, I be talking to people about it sometimes from time to time when I'm at work or if I'm moving around, or if I'm talking to a youngster. And it goes over a lot of people's head for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too deep. I'm going in too deep, talking about some bullshit pods, just going too far, but I had to really kind of slow myself down to be able to, talk to y'all about this, right? The topic and the subject is really about the realization. Okay. I was trying to figure out even how to say it. The realization, having a realization. You know what I'm saying? Having a realization, realizing some things. All right. And it sounds simple, and it sounds like, oh, I realize, no. Realization, when you really realize some stuff starts to change. Yeah, accept some things, but the realization is the one when you really realize, like, don't nobody gotta tell you, like, like, you're open and you're honest and you accept what you're seeing with your own two eyes, right? That's a thing. That's a thing. Because, we can be in bad situations and do not realize it because we can't see, because we blind. We love blind. Or, be at a job, that's tearing you down and beating you up. And you don't realize that you could have another job. You just haven't came to the realization that you can be in an easier job or a less stressful situation, or you just didn't realize it. That you didn't come to the realization of the thing, right? So me personally, I'm gonna just tell y'all a quick story. Where all this stuff, is stemming up from. You know, shout out to my mother. I love you. I love you. I love you. She's celebrating her 70th birthday, 70, on the 1st of September. And it's a big deal. It's a big to do. She's having a all white gala. All right. And it's going to be superb. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a night of celebration. A night of just thankful and gratefulness. You know what I'm saying? That, she's still here. She's still here with us and in full force. You know what I'm saying? And, celebrate all of the milestones. We celebrate all the milestones. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate, because, life's not promised. And so we're grateful and thankful for her. You know what I'm saying? So we will treat the queen like a queen's supposed to be treated, right? But back to the story. She stopped smoking some years ago, right? Y'all don't know this about me. I used to smoke Newports, crazy, shorts or longs. I'm smoking real Newports. I smoked cigarettes for years. I did. Even as a singer, I smoked cigarettes. I smoked weed too for many, many years. I was a weedaholic, right? Um, but there was a time in my life where I couldn't keep doing. I had a realization that I didn't want my kids seeing me high. I didn't want my kids, teenage boys, looking at me rolling up weed. I just didn't want that. I didn't want to be the reason why they went the wrong way. You know, so a lot of my choices were based around, you know, knowing and realizing that they model our behavior. So it's just like, okay, I got to put that down. And it was tough. It was tough because when you're doing music and you're in these different environments, that's par for the course. There's going to be tree, there's going to be drink, there's going to be a whole lot of different stuff that's there that people use to get into their mode. And so I realized that I had different obstacles, I had different things going on in my life that other people may not have had in their life, the problems that they had to deal with. So it was like, okay, I made a realization and I made a choice. Just like I was saying, like when you make a realization, things begin to change, right? So I stopped smoking weed, and then um years, fast forwarding on the story. My mom called me one day and she said, I quit smoking. I said, what? Mind you, she been smoking cigarettes probably 40 years, right? 40 years, and she just quit. And I was like, maybe she was having a few, complications and coughing a lot or whatever it was. And the realization kicked in. Like at the time, I was still smoking. I probably had a cigarette in my hand while she was talking. Like, you stopped smoking already? What's going on? I was probably, what I mean. And at that moment, I had a realization. Like she had a real realization. That we've lost so many family members to cancer related, issues. And it's like you got to realize that if I think she realized that if she kept smoking, that she wouldn't be here. You know, she wouldn't be here too much longer. Not because she was sick at the moment, but you don't realize when it's too late. You realize before it get too late, right? And even in that moment, I'm like, she been smoking for 40 years. She been smoking at the moment. She probably was been smoking longer than I probably been alive. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably missing, a few years, but it's like I had to come to the realization that, hey, she's stopping smoking for a reason. And it's like, okay, if she can stop, knowing how long she's been smoking, then I need to stop. I have to stop. I don't even have a choice. So that next day I quit too. Quit. Cold turkey. And it was hard. It was hard. I don't know, once I stop something, I don't want to pick it back up because it's hard to quit. Like it's hard to stop. Once I stop, it was hard enough to stop. I ain't gonna start up again. Same thing with weed. Like when I stopped smoking weed, I'm like, bro, I don't care if y'all rolling up half of California. I can't participate because once I start, I keep going. And for me, like it go down. Like I'll end up living at the weed farm. You just go down, just straight on downhill. Like for me, but because I'm I have an addictive behavior. Thank God I didn't pick up nothing else. Um, but yeah, I had a realization, and these are real life realizations because it's like, how would I feel, knowing that I could have lived better and been here longer, and could have been a better role model for my kids and could have did, the things I needed to do to be here longer, or do the things that I needed to do just to help them to, be somebody that they can look at and say, it is possible. Like, especially for my sons, to see me and to be in the different environments that I'm in and not come home, you know, high, or be somewhere smacked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they dad was pretty solid, like, period. Like, in they head, like, when I'm no longer here, whenever God says, like, my dad was solid. He showed us and he gave himself as an example of, I'm tooting my own horn a little bit because it was hard for me. I didn't come to the realization until later. It was some things that I had to realize about having a job. Like, bro, your kids need you. Welfare is not going to do it. So you're going to have to get up, find a good job, not just any job, and stay there. You know, I've been at my job with the state for almost 10 years now. And it's not, it's by the grace of God, because I could have been fired a few times. I miss all kind of days of work. Luckily, it's the state. They a little more lenient than the regular private companies and stuff like that. But I got in there and I sat down, man, because I realized, like, okay, I'm in charge of creating a life for them. I'm in charge of making sure that they have food, making sure the lights don't get cut out. I'm in charge of that. When you are a man and you are responsible for your family, like, everything else becomes secondary. Like, it's secondary. Like, regardless of what it may look like, what it may seem like. Because, I talk to a bunch of people that are like, why are you not doing this? And why are you not doing that? And why are you not? Because I come to the realization that I can only do so much. Like, I've made some choices. I've done some things that, you know, put me in a position where things can be very, very difficult. It can be very, very complicated, to pursue things that I want to do when I want to do them. It's like you have to be very creative, to be, a music person nowadays. You got to have a whole lot of skills, time management being one of them, uh, discipline being one of them. You got to have all these things in order, to be able to take on some extra stuff like recording, recording costs, touring, you know what I'm saying, and still keep home straight. Like, it's boy, if you see an artist out here pursuing music, and they got a whole family, they got whole problems, and they still doing music, and they still going after their dream and the thing that they have a passion for, man, support them. Buy their CD, buy their USB. If it's $5, shoot it to them. Even if you don't like the kind of music they make, I'm an advocate for all the artists. Standing on the corners in front of Food for Less, in front of the market, selling. Hey, man, how much is it? Man, at $10. Here go four. Here go $4. You can keep the CD and sell it to somebody else. I just want to support you, man, because I'm an artist, and people done it for me. So many times they didn't even listen to R&B. They was like, man, I see you out here and you doing your thing. You know what? Here go five. I don't even listen to R&B. I ain't listen to that. Or I ain't even got a CD player in my car. But here go five. That's when people was getting money selling CDs, hand over fist. But all of this comes with a realization. You got to realize, like, hey, I might not be able to go Mad Max like I used to, but I can definitely make the time that I put in count. And so, that all comes with a realization. You know what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with like I was saying, with my coworker. He was telling me, I said, how old are you? He was like, I am 30 years old. I was like, okay, you 30. Okay. I said, what if you had $20,000 to put down on a house? And he said, that would be cool, And then the conversation went further, like, okay, say you did get that house and you're 30 right now. That house comes with a 30-year mortgage. You'll be 60 before you pay that house off. And you retire at 62 or whatever. And he was like, okay, well, that's cool. I'm like, no, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Bob. He's like, well, what am I? I'm like, you're going to have to figure it out because you get about 58, 57, you're not going to be paying no $2,700 a month on no house. You're not going to, if that's, where we are, because things are going up and up and up, whatever. God forbid you get hurt and can't work. God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Something happens in your family to where it depletes your income. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you wonder how all these people are laying on the ground in San Francisco, in Oakland. Like, things happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, you got to have a realization like, okay, I'm 30. So it's like, what does it is hard, to sacrifice now for the things you want later. It's called delayed gratification. But you have to come to a realization that I'm not going to get the house and the car and this financial stability unless I sacrifice now. Literally. Like, there's so many people out here living that's 40, 45 that have zero retirement whatsoever. Like zero, barely got health care, Medi-Cal, some free Obamacare. They can't go to the dentist, teeth all messed up. Like, my teeth got messed up when I was young, when I was a young adult. Like, because I didn't have no health care. I wasn't working at a place that even gave us health care. I'm at somewhere, Western Dental somewhere, like, get teeth pulled out. So it's like, you got to have a realization. You got to come to the realization. Like, even people that's doing music, like, you got to come to the realization, like, you know what? I'm going to do the best music I can when I can to the highest level that I can do it, with the time allotted and the income, that's allotted. And that's good enough for me. If God opens up a door for me, I'm going to walk through it, but the realization is none of those blessings and none of that stuff is available to you without having a realization and keeping your baseline sturdy. Like, my baseline had to stay sturdy while I was touring in London, while I was doing, and I'm probably gonna go again, probably for the 5th time, because I understand, like, I wait my turn. I have to still market and promote. I did a lot of shows virtually, like, to where, like, I did the show straight from wherever I was at, right I'm gonna do a live show right here, right now. Start singing, play the music, you know what I'm saying? And broadcast, be 1,000 people in the room. I did that like 3 times. I did it a few times over COVID and a few times recently. Like, because I can't just fly over the water and be there for a week. I ain't got the time, or whatever. I realized that, okay, maybe I should learn how to podcast. Maybe I should learn how to use these cameras. That was a realization, because I can't be everywhere. You know what I mean? But I can reach. It's just being creative and having a realization and executing. Everybody think, oh, everybody's doing podcasting. But I'm doing podcasting because it's a part of my learning process. It's a part of everything in music and entertainment and stuff like that. And even marketing and all that stuff. It all has to do with being able to put together a quality product and be able to present it. Be able to present it technically and present it, in an efficient way. Like I film my podcast by myself. Like, I don't have nobody here doing lights and doing cameras, and I don't have nobody editing, none of that stuff, and I learned from some cool dudes. I learned from some dudes that taught me some stuff just to be able to even bring you this. Like, shout out to my boy KB. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, even him, he's getting ready to retire, work 30 years for the state. Probably, I'm thinking 30. I'm probably got his numbers messed up, but I'm for sure it's about 30. Like, 30 years ago, he had to make a choice to, lock in for his family and for his future. So now his health care and his monthly amount of money is going to get sent to him for the rest of his life. Period. You know, probably house purchased. You know what I mean? Probably have a few bills or something like that. I hate to just use you, KB. I'm sorry. But, he had a realization back then like, you know what? I need to get in somewhere where I could build something that can take care of me for the rest of my life. If something happened to him medically, he's covered, period. You know what I mean? Because of the work that he put in. He had a realization early, like, you know what, I gotta get some years under my belt. I gotta lock in. And so even now, like, with my 10 years with the state, it's like, okay, um, that's a little something, but they almost require you to do 30, and I'm 40 something right now. So it's like, I'm like, I ain't gonna I'm about tired of it right now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I'm having all kind of different realizations. Even while I was working for the state, I went and got my truck driving license. No clap for me. While I was working for the state, I haven't had a chance to really fully, it bumped my pay up a little bit at work because I drive the truck at work more, And so it's just like there was a realization even while I was working my job, like, hey, bro, this is almost, it's not a dead end job, but um, to be able to travel and to go places and do things that I want to do, and my kids are getting older. Even now, I may have to go back to school and retrain, you know, so that I can be in step with earning more. You know what I'm saying? And it's like these realizations happen. They happen all the time. Like you could be watching this video and have a realization, like, look, bro, if I don't go back to school or if I don't do something, ain't nothing gonna come out of nothing. You gotta have that realization, bro. Like I ain't never got no money because I spend it on weed or I'm tricking or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or I ain't got no goals, I ain't got no consistency. Like that was a realization, bro. You get on here every day? Can you keep the rhythm going? Can you do anything consistently? Like there's a realization there, like, damn, I can't, the only thing I do consistently, like I'm looking at what I do consistently, which is go to work, um, work on this podcast stuff. Even my music is almost sporadic. You know what I'm saying? Based on emotions or whatever, or how I'm feeling or whatever. Even that has to get tightened up. You know. Um, but just even with the podcast, it's like, bro, can you do that consistently? Like, the only people that get in shape and stay healthy are people that's consistently working out, consistent. Like that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on just being consistent. Like, can you do? I go to work every day that I can. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. I ain't going. I don't give. I don't care what nobody talking about. But for the most part, I've been consistent over a number of years. And I realize that I can't get nowhere unless I do it every day. I do it all the time. Like it's been a tough week for me this week. I've been getting up every day going anyway. Like even though I got a million things going on, I got a million things on the personal side. I got a million obligations that I have to uphold. Even this podcast is one of my obligations that I made to myself. And so it's like, it's different when you make that obligation to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I can't lie to myself. I know you know, ain't nobody I can't shuck and jive me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, be consistent, you know, keep it going. And so, like, that was my realization. Like, dang, I'm hardly consistent with anything. Like, I do some things consistently. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's clockwork. I have a rhythm about myself in certain ways. And so but even still, it's like, you know, if you study every day, studying the stock market or studying, consistently studying things or dedicating yourself to the process, you know, having a realization that if I dedicate myself to this every single day, I will get better, over time. You know, like I got a partner that's a day trader. He's been getting better and better and better. And at some point, he's not even gonna have to really trade that much because he's not gonna really have to even because he put in his work. He understands the market. He's doing what he got to do. His investments will grow. His knowledge and his understanding about the stock market has grown exponentially, but will grow more because of his consistency. And so, and I wouldn't. It's funny too because I wouldn't picture him or frame him as one of my homies that would be a day trader or an investor. He is a go getter for sure. That's without a doubt. But at the same time, it's like these are regular dudes. These are homies. Like people that I sat and smoked weed with and did skits with and took trip, did all kind of stuff with. Now, imagine them having a realization and saying, I got to consistently study these charts. I got to consistently wake up at 4 a.m. when the market opens or before the market opens just to see what is trending, putting money on it and really, really, really locking in like consistently. And then you got to consistently work your job to be able to have the money to even invest in the stock market. So it's a lot going on in the middle of all of this. But you definitely, have to have a realization, you know, you can't keep hanging out. You can't keep going to the club, spending $250 on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Just to get dressed, buy this, buy that. You can't keep consistently taking from yourself. You can't consistently be taking L's. You can't consistently do that, because you will consistently be going in the wrong direction. You know, at some point, you got to say, you got to have a realization to say, what if I consistently save that 250? What if I consistently go to the gym? What if I consistently make small changes in my diet? What if I consistently, whatever you do, you have to do it consistently to see a result. It don't even matter. Like we just got to be mindful to try not to consistently do the wrong thing, because you'll consistently go the wrong way. And so, it's all about having that realization, man. Like, have that realization, man. It's going to be scary. It's going to be hard for a lot of us to get uncomfortable. But being uncomfortable is the key to moving in the right direction. Because nobody's comfortable running. Nobody's comfortable going through an obstacle course. Like, how could you be comfortable running through an obstacle course? Because that's what life is, an obstacle course. It's your body and your mind and your spirit. All parts of you is in the obstacle course. All parts. Okay. The parts you can see and the parts you can't. It's all in the obstacle course. All right. But at the same time, it's like when you accept it, when you accept the challenge and you change your view, your perception about obstacles, they all become things that teach you how to be better. And pretty soon you'll be in an obstacle course and don't even know that's what you're in because you're good at it now. Like, this is normal. This is par for the course. I'm on my way somewhere. Like, I've been jumping over jump over this box and go get underground and go through this barbed wire. Oh, that's normal. I do that all the time. And you keep doing it. Why? Because you've been consistently making it through nonsense. Consistently. You know what I'm saying? So, just having a realization. You know what I'm saying? And so I ain't gonna hold y'all too long on this one. Man, I appreciate you guys for just kicking back and just listening to me talk. You know what I'm saying? And just hopefully you get something out of these talks. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep this going. And I have a goal as far as how many, episodes I'm gonna do on this season. We working our way there. We got a few more. I don't know if I want to do 25 or if I want to do, whatever I want to do. But I'll let you guys know how many more episodes are gonna be for this season. This is my very first inaugural, my very first season with the Bear Trap podcast. We're definitely gonna be moving into some different areas and doing some different stuff. I'm sticking to the plan. I'm not talking about all music, local news. I'm not talking about who slapped who. I'm not talking about that stuff right just yet. I'm not talking about none of that, you know. And that's a personal choice. You know what I'm saying? I try my best not to put myself in grown folks' business, and I pray they don't put themselves in mine. You know what I mean? And I offer respect and love to everybody that offers respect and love to me. And I've been doing good. I've been doing good. You know what I mean? I don't got no commentary for nothing. You know what I mean? I got too many problems. I got too many blessings, you know, in store for me to be worried about, anything. So I thank you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed week, by the time you see this, and I hope you guys come back, man. I really do. I really hope you guys just continue this journey with me. And until next time, this has been the Bear Trap Podcast. I'm your host, Bear. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications so that you know that I dropped a new video. Because we get busy. Let your phone do the work. It'll remind you. You know what I'm saying? And I see y'all later. Y'all have a blessed one.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The Bear Trap Podcast. Here we like to talk about music, news, and entertainment. But most importantly, we like to talk about life. So get yourself ready.